I've got my green smoothie ready for a great day. Just started the day with a vibe, which is a program run by a group of people that I know to get people through the challenging times that we're in. And it was amazing. But now it's time for some reading. Rich Dad Poor Dad in Chinese. Eventually, the shops will reopen, and I'll be able to get the English version, or I might get the PDF, but it's a bit more challenging when I'm going to be reading from the computer and being live at the same time. So we're going to continue with Rolf Dobelli, The Art of Thinking Clearly, because who doesn't want to think clearly so that you can then make some money and invest really well? So where are we up to? Let's have a look. Here we go. So yesterday we were reading Never Judge a Decision by Its Outcome. That was a really good one. And today is chapter 21. It's already been 3 weeks. Less is more, the paradox of choice. Here we go. Who's ready for a great day? My sister and her husband bought an unfinished house a little while ago. Since then, we haven't been able to talk about anything else. The sole topic of conversation for the past 2 months has been the bathroom tiles, ceramic, granite, marble, metal, stone, wood, glass, and every type of laminate known to man. Rarely have I seen my sister in such anguish. There are just too many to choose from, she exclaims, throwing her hands in the air and returning to the tile catalog, her constant companion. I've counted and researched. My local grocery stocks 48 varieties of yogurt, 134 types of red wine, 64 different cleaning products, and a grand total of 30,000 items. Amazon, the internet bookseller, no longer just a bookseller. You can tell that the book's a little bit older, has 2 million titles available. Nowadays, people are bombarded with options, such as hundreds of mental disorders, thousands of different careers, even more holiday destinations, and an infinite variety of lifestyles. Well, the holiday destinations also isn't really an issue right now. There has never been more choice. When I was young, we had 3 types of yogurt, 3 television channels, 2 churches, 2 kinds of cheese, mild or strong, 1 type of fish, trout, and 1 telephone provided by the Swiss Post. The black box with the dial served no other purpose than making calls, and that did us just fine. In contrast, anyone who enters a phone store today runs the risk of being flattened by an avalanche of brands, models, and contract options. That is quite true. Has anybody else noticed how much options there are in the world and what you need to choose from? And yes, I can't remember this chapter exactly, but there are some very interesting things that we'll talk about around it. And thank you, Lily. Lily is telling us that this is her favorite so far. So thank you very much. It is great having you here. Okay, and yet the selection is the yardstick of progress. It is what sets us apart from the planned economies and the Stone Age. Yes, abundance makes you giddy, but there is a limit. When it is exceeded, a surfeit of choices destroys quality of life. Even I need to look up that word. I don't know that one, but I do know the approximate meaning. So the technical term for this is the paradox of choice, and there's a lot of interesting study around the paradox of choice. In his book of the same title, psychologist Barry Schwartz describes why this is so. First, a large selection leads to inner paralysis. And I've definitely experienced that firsthand, so I have reduced the amount of choices that I have in my life. To test this, so a perfect example is my smoothie in the morning. It is always the same. I have a set amount of clothes, not that many, and I don't have to think long and hard about the choice of them. So there's a couple of things that you can do to overcome the paradox of choice. So to test this, a supermarket set up a stand where customers could enjoy 24 varieties of jelly. They could try as many as they liked and then buy them at a discount. The next day, the owners carried out the same experiment with only 6 flavors. The result? They sold 10 times more jelly on day 2. Why? With such a wide range, customers could not come to a decision, so they bought nothing. The experiment was repeated several times with different products. The results were always the same. It's like a deer in the headlights. The deer sees the headlights, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know what it is thinking about it, and then, ends up getting splattered. And it's the same thing. When you have so much choice, you can't decide which one to actually get, so you get nothing. When you have less choice, you taste 3 different types of jelly, you like one of them more than the other two, and it's very simple for you to decide, and you buy it. And some people go the opposite way, and they will see 24 flavors of jelly, like all of them, or maybe let's say they like 20 of the 24, and they'll buy 20. Also, not really the ideal situation. So second, a broader selection leads to poorer decisions. If you ask young people what is important in a life partner, they reel off the usual qualities: intelligence, good manners, warmth, and the ability to listen, sense of humor, and physical attractiveness. I'm surprised they put that one at the end, because most people put that one at the beginning of the list. But do they actually take these criteria into account when choosing somebody? In the past, a young man from a village of average size could choose among maybe 20 girls of similar age with whom he went to school. So now with the apps like Tinder and different other Bumble, and I don't know what else is out there, but it is such a huge amount of choice that a lot of people go deer in the headlights and have no idea who to choose. He knew their families and vice versa. You don't know those on Tinder, leading to a decision based on several well-known attributes. Nowadays, in the era of online dating, millions of potential partners are at our disposal. It's been proven that the stress caused by this mind-boggling variety is so large that the male brain reduces the decision to one single criterion: physical attractiveness. The consequences of this selection process you already know, perhaps even from personal experience. Leave a comment if you have any experience with that. Finally, large selection leads to discontent. How can you be sure you're making the right choice when 200 options surround and confront you, especially when they all have completely different functionality? So you might have product A, which is able to do this, this, and this, and then product B can do something similar, but it also has something extra. And then there's product C, which has something that you really want, but B is better, but C has something that you also want. So you want a combination of B and C, but that doesn't exist. And then you have D, which also has something that you really want, and E, that's something that you really want. And it becomes impossible to be able to make a choice out of A, B, C, D, E, because they all have something that you want, and you want to combine them into one product, but that doesn't exist. So then you start your own business and create product F. And that's what often happens. People see these products and they can't make their own choice. And then sometimes some people will create their own in order to be able to make up for what they can't find. How can you be sure you're making the right choice when 200 options surround and confront you? The answer is you cannot. The more choice you have, the more unsure and therefore dissatisfied you are afterwards. So, and that's the interesting thing. We become dissatisfied when there are so many product options available. We buy, let's say that there are A, B, C, D, E, F. We buy C because it has that one option that we think, that option is going to make me more happy than all the others. Then when we buy C, we get it. And we don't feel satisfied because we know we're missing out on B. We know that we're missing out on E and F and A and all of the other products. And we wonder whether we could have made a better choice. If we only had 3 choices, we don't really feel like that because we feel that we've really been able to research in depth and we know that we've made the best choice. With 20 choices, it becomes really difficult to do that because maybe I could have chosen a better option. So what can you do? Think carefully about what you want before you inspect existing offers. Write down these criteria and stick to them rigidly. Also, realize that you can never make a perfect decision. Aiming for this, given the flood of possibilities, is a form of irrational perfection. Instead, learn to love a good choice. Yes, even in terms of life partners, only the best will do. In this age of unlimited variety, rather the opposite is true. Good enough is the new optimum. Except, of course, for you and me. And finally, on that note, I was going to mention something. Yes, so when I had my cafe, I actually learned the strategy around getting past this challenge, and that was to have 3 suppliers and just compare those 3 and then choose one of the 3. It's the same with making videos. When I'm making videos, I'll make 3 videos and choose the best of the 3, because I could make videos all day and make 200 different videos, and it would be impossible for me to choose one. So I make 3, choose one. And then you can continue that trend. So for example, with the cafe, I would have 3 suppliers, I would choose one. Then after I've chosen that one, I'd work with them, and maybe 6 months later, I would choose that one and 2 new ones. and compare those three, because I've already compared the other two, and see if I still make the same choice or if I choose a new one. Then 6 months later, I keep the original that I'm working with currently and choose two new in order to be able to see if I can slowly, gradually find a better alternative. So that is another way of getting past that challenge. So that was chapter 21. Number 22 that we're going to be reading tomorrow, which I'm really looking forward to, is You Like Me. You really, really like me. And this is called The Liking Bias. And this is going to be another great chapter. So I'm looking forward to seeing you for that tomorrow. I just saw that Mladen's left something in the chat. I was going off at a bit of a rant on that one, and I didn't notice what was going on. So Mladen says, thousands of cryptocurrencies, but the majority speak only about Bitcoin. Is it possible to benefit from other cryptocurrencies too? But which one? There are too many speculations, and that's why it becomes really important to learn how to analyze different things and to not be overwhelmed with analyzing too many different things. And on that note, we are still going to be setting up the research club, but I've also been doing way too many things. So we need to do it in a way that it's not going to overwhelm me, but we are going to set it up, and we're going to do it in a way that it slots into my time schedule, because I was thinking of doing it every day, and that would just be way too much. So I need to also calm down a little bit and learn the lesson from chapter 21 so I can avoid the paradox of choice and create less is more. So we're going to look at how we're going to do the research so that you can look at different kinds of research: stock market, business, cryptocurrencies, property, all of those different things. So stay excited for that, but I need to structure it in the right way so that I don't fall for the paradox of choice. So on that note, have an amazing day. Go out there and create something that is going to make you proud and make you happy. And I'm looking forward to seeing you for another reading tomorrow. Stay happy, and I'll see you then.